onside here.
Thursday night footy underway in the Shire. And Cronulla will start with the ball in their hands. Off the back fence, Holly Wheeler, not used by Anessa Biddle, who runs into a brick wall in the form of Christian Pio and Nevada George. Hunting as a pack. Here's Byers. Regular on that right edge for the Sharks. Only missed round 4 this season with a head knock. Offers great defensive protection to Taylor Preston. Here's Anderson. Sharks over the 40-metre line on their first set. Dodd is the dummy half. Wheeler gets her touch now. Lutu, terrific technique, stops the front rower in her tracks. And now Johnston on play 5 finds her fronts. Entitled to a quick play the ball as the referee, Caroline Nolan, identified, and Hanaway will kick. Plenty of height in it as well. Pressure on the taker. Look at that first set from Cronulla, Roo.
Yeah, great first set in attack. I like the physicality from the Tigers, though, to start this game. Just picking up where they left off from last week. But this kick chase has been very impressive from the Sharks throughout 2024.
It was good to see Lasana Lutu make a bit of a statement. They thought they were going to run at the young halfback. He's got a head in there and put Holly Wheeler on her backside and then backed it up with a double, made another tackle.
Yeah, Brett Kamali spoke about this halves combination. Lutu, 20 years of age, McGrath just 18. Halves combo for the future for these Tigers. Pryor, the dummy half, goes left-hand side now. The middle forwards combine. And on the outside, real opportunity here for Montana Clifford. Back in the lineup. This last week with a head knock. Now the kick comes from McGrath. Right onto the chest of Tonagato. Playing that fullback role the last couple of weeks.
Oh, we saw that little bit of ball movement just there on the second to last tackle. The Tigers did that last week to great effect against the big pack of the Dragons. So it looks like they'll just be trying to do the same thing, move the Sharks middle around, but look at this.
It was nice how they passed the ball early. They gave each other a bit of time. You don't often see that.
And the right slow tackle.
First penalty of the game gives us the chance to check in with Marley Silver on the sideline.
Well, good evening, Speedy. It is such a mild and lovely evening here at Shark Park, sitting at 19 degrees and only a slight breeze of 14 kilometres an hour blowing across the field. There's also a pretty incredible supermoon that we can see over the Peter Byrne stand, which is making for great scenes as we get stuck into this incredible game of footy.
Terrific camera work as well. The Equinox coming up on Sunday. And almost busting them is Byers. Good legs tackle by Pryor. Now short side for Preston. Picks up the lead runner Biddle. One-on-one with Tafunga. And last year's Rookie of the Year took some stopping. Real depth now to the open side. On the last. They'll go through the hands for now. Dodd. Chiming in, Tonagato. Hanaway all the way across the Penatani, tried to poke her way through, and now it's the last. So back to the other side they go. Preston will kick this time. Ravick stayed onside. Ravick's tried to pluck it out of the sky and knocked it on. And the Tigers stand tall defensively.
Well, we saw the Sharks use that to great effect last week against the Broncos as they give away a penalty here. Discipline is probably one thing Tony Herman's been very disappointed with.
Mark's back up here.
Just giving away penalties through yardage there. But last week against the Broncos, Ravick's caught that ball and scored a try off it. So why wouldn't you keep going back there?
It was a great tactic by Cronulla. They moved the ball over to the right-hand side where Ravick's made a tackle and stretched it all the way to the other side. And by the time they decided to come back to her, she was isolated. She was on her own. If the kick had been a little bit higher, the Sharks' attack would have been up over the top of Ravick's. Well recovered by the Tigers.
Got something around her legs to contend with there as well. Claudia Nielsen, as we saw on that replay, that would have been disconcerting when you're trying to get your footwork right under a high ball. A winner on debut last week out of Tamworth. Claudia Nielsen wearing the 5 for the Tigers. Here's Togatuki. Player of the Year for the Tigers in their inaugural campaign in 2023. Earns another penalty. So Caroline Nolan is letting everyone know she wants quick play the ball.
Stay in there.
There was nearly a pass on the end of that Togatuki run. If she just had a look on the outside, Rakea Horn was in a bit of space. They had plenty of room down this right-hand side touchline. The first tackle will be inside the Sharkies half, 40 metres out.
Nice touch finder, isn't it?
Aggressive.
Just bite off 25 metres.
Lutu's played every game this season in the 7. 13 games already at NRLW level. Helps out at dummy half, and Tongatuki only knows one way. They're ready to go left-hand side now. Plenty of options. Lutu finds her halves partner. And out in front, Clifford is looking dangerous, isn't she? And Betty Welsh right behind her.
They had a nice little staircase set up there in attack. Ball just didn't get there, but look at the way they're running the Tigers, full of venom.
Pio takes Anderson with her a couple of metres post-contact. Now Pryor for George. Still no tries in the NRLW career of Nevada George. 27th game today, that is a surprise. Such a damaging ball runner. Now Lutu finds an avenue. In behind Cassie Staples. Good luck getting out of there. And Raquel Horn tidies her up.
Brandon in goals.
Great kick chase by the Tigers. Lutu looked unperturbed there. She didn't look panicked as she took the line on. Threaded that kick beautifully, and it was very well weighted. You see her just travelling along. Sees Penatani, comes up, slots it in behind. That's a lovely kick by the young half.
Yeah, 1-7 record this season for the Tigers. Destined for the wooden spoon, but they're a better team than that record suggests. And the opportunity knocks here. Oh no, knocked on by Beck Pollard, who's been in try-scoring form for her in her last 5.
You're just nasty. That's a curse if I've ever heard one.
I reckon the commentators have that big a pull, Freddie.
You did then. That moon.
Could do strange things tonight, couldn't it?
And being too positive, just you're looking for trouble.
I'm just grateful the wind died off. When I turned up here at 4 o'clock, it was blowing an absolute gale. Could you imagine? Full moon and wind. Jeez.
Tonegado. Eventually the call of held comes. Caused some confusion for all the players there. As Wheeler runs into another rock-solid shot over the top from George. Counting some numbers, comes back to Anderson. Weaving her way through traffic. Entitled to that quick play the ball. Wheeler goes to Hanaway. Hits the lead runner.
Nice pass.
Tale Holmes. 2 more plays left, and it opens up for Dodd. There's no support. Trying to buy some time for them. And Johnston eventually loomed on her left shoulder. So Hanaway helps out at dummy half. Swings it back to the right through Preston. Byers. And has the arm free but can't promote the footy.
Well, Cronulla emotionally a bit disappointed they didn't score there. They could have also got a penalty, a couple of tackles back. When the hooker Quincy Dodd went through, Tonegado was taken out. It was Tonegado's speed and threat that opened up the hole. And she was taken out, and Quincy Dodd made the tackle, and nothing ended up happening.
Here we go, Freddie. This is what he was talking about. You just see there Nevada George, and she was down for a long time after that contact. Emma Tonegado.
It's a miss by the officials, the referee and the touchies. Not seeing that Tonegado being tackled off the ball, as Freddie identified in a penalty when it didn't lead to a try initially. Look at that, Penatani, one-on-one with Pryor in the Penatani derby. Her younger sister Natasha off the bench for the Tigers later. They both arrived at the ground together tonight, the 2 sisters. And Tongatuki staying down here. Concern for Sarah. Blood coming from the lip, is it?
It was quite heavy contact
Yeah,
here.
she's got some blood coming out of her lip. Yep.
You'll see it on replay. She's so hard to handle.
What do you think about Wheeler's contact there, Freddie?
Well, the shoulders hit her in the head, so she'll be penalised, without a doubt. I don't think there's any malice in there.
Penalties enough?
Yeah. Has its advantages of being tall at other times. And she's just standing her ground.
We've got Matt Noyen in the bunker, who'll be tipping
Holly.
up Cara Lee Nolan.
Tiana, Holly, girls coming up.
Will they be down to 12?
Okay, the contact's direct and forceful. You're on report and you're in the bin.
Not usually lost for words, Holly Wheeler, but she's sitting down for 10. Alana Ferguson
Well, Natasha Penatani is just getting ready to come on the field, so the two sisters will get to play opposite one another. But they'll be disappointed with that, the Sharks. Their first sort of ill discipline led to the Tigers attacking their line. Now they've got to play 10 minutes of footy, one player down. Certainly an area of their game that they need to tidy up as well.
Last time these teams met was early last year. Touchfinder just into touch. But Cronulla also had a player sent to the bin, you may remember, Harata Butler. The Tigers won that game 10-0. It was their last win until last week. 410 days between those victories. As Natasha Penatani gets involved, replacing Togatuki, who may struggle to return to the game after that head knock. And that would be a massive loss. He leads this pack so brilliantly. Pressure on McGrath, and likewise Betty Welsh as Ravix got to her.
Well, Ravix had to make that tackle. There were two other Tigers outside of her. It was on for all money.
What an opportunity here against 12. Tufunga sets them up. They try and produce on this play now. Oh, disappointing. Oh, knock back, says the referee. I thought it might have been a knock on by Pio. And there they are, coming together, the Penatani sisters. Lutu now. Out the back for Betty Welsh. Cronulla have the numbers. Out of play, not played at, I don't
Off
think.
the Sharks, off Cronulla in a touch. Be to play the ball. Where do you want to play the ball?
It's going to be Tigers' ball.
Well, I'd like to see that on replay.
Tigers
Went
play
into
the
the
ball.
backside of a
Yep.
Shark who didn't
Tigers
know where
play
the footy was, I
Wait.
thought.
1 foot here.
But again, Lutu just taking the line on, looking like she's got all the time in the world.
Hanaway's making a tackle, so a couple of misses on that set by the officials. Pryor fancies her chances, keeps it alive for Penatani. And look at that defence. Johnston holding her up. Pryor has another go. 2 tries in her career. No joy on back-to-back plays. Now they must go left. McGrath's seen it, so's Betty Welsh. And for the corner, Claudia Nielsen gets there. First try in the NRLW, and they do make the one-player advantage count.
Well, they got there 3 tackles late, but they got there. The poor old Sharkies had no defence out on the right-hand side. At one stage, the winger was just there on her own, defending one half of the field. There was this pass here, the money pass from Betty Welsh, catch and pass, and she had plenty to do. Claudia Nielsen.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay, this is quite a good angle. You just see Eve McGrath takes the line on. It was a nice catch pass by Bovete Welsh. And Anessa Biddle was just trying everything, but they found a lot of joy attacking down their left edge already. And I've actually liked the way they've started this game, the Tigers.
There was a lead runner there for the Tigers as well, but the try quickly confirmed. That lead runner didn't affect anyone in the defensive line. So Claudia Nielsen, who moved to Perth for hockey originally, then got into the Rugby Sevens program, is now making a name for herself as the Tigers' good luck charm. Makes her debut last week, they win, and now scores the first try.
She had plenty to do. She had to make the pass, step inside Pollard, and then beat Biddle. She's the strongest girl on the field. She's a beast. Great balance, spun out of the tackle. It's joy.
Let's celebrate those milestones. First try in the big time. Tough conversion attempt for Lutu. Taking it back about 18 metres. That wind has died down. Lutu strikes it. Look at that! Perfection. So finishing the season strongly, the Tigers lead 6-0 early, but what about the fate of Sarah Togatuki? Marley?
Yes, Speedy, it's certainly some bittersweet news for the Tigers while they're the first to get points on the board. Sarah Togatuki has been categorised with a Cat 1 head injury, meaning she will not be able to return to this match. As you see in that tackle that Holly Wheeler is in the bin for, her season is done.
So Claudia Brown can be activated as the 18th player. We should see her at some stage later in this ball game.
She's recovering from a pretty big shiner herself, Claudia Brown. She had a great game on debut last week for the Tigers.
And Clifford's been a star early in this one. Out on the left edge. It takes her up around 40 metres run already. Lutsu now. Talatane quickly onto Horn. Around Penatani. That doesn't happen too often. And beats about 3 of them until Hanaway came again. Pryor just got there. Great service in the end for Lutsu. Punched in behind Staples. It's played out by Staples for a line dropout.
Yeah, that last bounce just sat up on her there, Cassie Staples. She thought it was going to run and it sat up on its point.
Challenge?
No, I wouldn't be challenging this.
Tell you what, she's had some big moments with the boot.
on-field decision
Lutsu.
is touch
She's had
and
a couple
goal
of great
off
touch
Cronulla, therefore
finders.
goal line drop.
She's had a restart. She's forced an error here. She's had the kick from the sideline for the goal.
Should have challenged last time, but not this time.
The ball bounces touching goal. The Cronulla player is shadowing the ball and it touches her. The goal line dropout's correct. The challenge by the Cronulla is unsuccessful.
So not a lot going right for the home team just yet. Player in the bin and down 6-0 and about to give the ball back unless Preston can find touch, and she goes long, and look how long it will go. Inside the opposition half. And look at the chase, led by Tale Holmes. Big couple of days for Cronulla. The Sharks against the Cowboys tomorrow night on 9 at Allianz. First of the semi-finals.
What's the G train? Someone was talking today about the G train.
You can get on the G train from Cronulla.
Right.
And go all the way to Central from about 5 o'clock tomorrow night. The G train himself, Paul Gallen, has been promoting that today. Hopefully a lot of Sharks fans there to cheer on their team tomorrow night against the Cowboys, who've travelled in good numbers.
Apparently Gal's on the train doing autographs the whole way.
He loves that. Lovely pass to Lutsu. Quickly on to Horn again, and Penatani sticks the tackle this time.
There's a good little battle here between Penatani and Rikia Horn. I'm looking forward to seeing how that progresses through the game. Or its last.
Talatane and know that. Seemingly not. She'll have to hand it over.
Well, Lutsu was on the blind. And Ebony Pryor decided to go the other way. The good thing is, though, the way the Tigers play, they give the ball off early. Just means someone needs to beat a tackle. It was good watching young Rikia Horn taking on Penatani, as the first try scorer did as well. Nelson, you need to beat a tackle. If you're going to give the ball early, you need to think about beating tackles.
It's a handy piggyback for the Sharks. And there was
contact off the ball.
Tackle off the ball spotted this time.
Yep. Touch, toe, yeah.
You think back a fortnight ago, Cronulla were sailing along at the top of the ladder with a 6-0 record. They've lost their last 2 games, 40-0 against the Roosters and 20-16 against the Broncos, who won it on the bell with Leonard Ducey's try last week. And they need a bit of a spark heading into finals. Need to regroup in this game. And that's a telling run by Johnston.
I think adversity is good for teams when it comes to this end of the season. See what they're really made of. Dig deep.
Right on the line, the prospect of hosting a final next week. Both teams who finished 1 and 2 will earn that right to host a semi-final. Grand final the week after that. And away. Oh, this time Holmes is through. Tale Holmes. Todagato. The juggling act won't work. Cronulla that close to scoring with 12.
That's a couple of times when they've come down this left edge. Hanaway and Holmes have come up with a couple of really nice plays. We saw about 3 or 4 minutes ago, Hanaway hit Tale Holmes with a lovely flat ball. And love the way she's been running. Alana?
She looks good, doesn't she, Hanaway? She looks like time slows down a little bit for her, but sells that pass and has moving parts. I think that's the key with the Sharks. They look dangerous. Their attacking shapes look potent. It's just making sure that that final pass sticks. But between Emma Tonagato and Hanaway on that short side, they can cause plenty of havoc, the Sharkies.
They just need to be patient. They'll give penalties away, put a bit of pressure on the Tigers. It'll only be too long before they score a try. There seems to be a tackle across their side. Won't be too long.
Inspirational defence from Brooke Anderson. That's why she's a vote winner regularly. Defence like that.
She's got great technique for a small body.
Jake Trebojevic. I thought Jake Trebojevic was out there. Boom.
Lutu.
Great.
Smooth mover, and again Anderson required to make the tackle on the last. They find their half this time in the form of McGrath, who tumbles it down towards Ravix, safe underneath it. She works for the Bulldogs during the week, plays for Cronulla on the weekend, hasn't signed for any team next year, but there's a lot of Sharks who are off to the Bulldogs in 2025.
Oh, Gus. Up to no good again.
He signed the likes of Preston, Wheeler, Dimmick and Robinson from these Bulldogs as Holly Wheeler is preparing for her re-entrance to the game. Less than 30 seconds in her sin bin, and she'll be able to get on and join this set, which should be an attacking one.
It is opting for a kick for touch here, Preston.
Nearly lost ground.
Yeah, went sideways there, but unfortunately, I think Lasana Lutu's kicking game tonight has been absolutely electric. She's been fantastic. Look at this.
Is there any breeze at all out there?
I think Marley said it's very, very light.
Very mild.
Yeah.
And Wheeler back on. 13 on 13 again. The Tigers won that middle period 6-0. But the Sharks are rolling. Johnston trying to combine with Wheeler, but the offload was denied. Clifford over the top. There's numbers right. Do they go through the hands? They do. Preston did well to gather. Tonagato. Biddle. And Nessa Biddle centimetres away. So Ravix helps out at dummy half. From side to side again, the Sharks. Quincy Dodd straightens. And there was a little bit of space there as well if Anderson could have promoted. So on the last, shocking pass knocked back by Preston to go crossfield. One-on-one contest here. Staples did well. Chance here for Holmes. It's a scrappy final play. I don't want the footy, says Penatani. Johnston finds the half. Preston to kick. How's the weight on it?
Needs a bounce.
Got a Cronulla bounce. But they're going to bring it out of there. Oh, what a play that was. It was all happening. And Nielsen into the field of play again.
Well, hasn't this young woman had some great touches tonight? She was fantastic last week, but coming out of trouble, if we get to see that again, that is so impressive. And the kick chase just wasn't on song from the Sharks.
It was like in their last two tackles, every single person on the field was involved. Everyone got a touch and a tackle.
She's the good luck charm. Claudia Nielsen getting it done at both ends. They might be on the end of things here. Tafunga. How's the breath for Claudia Nielsen? Might be needing to suck in the big ones right now. On the last, Lutu, pressure on the kick. Great chase by Cronulla. Gives them momentum again here for Staples. Up towards that 40-metre line. Both teams doing pretty well in terms of completion so far. Only one incomplete set each. Natani. Both sisters now Tongan internationals. Natasha missed that tackle. And Tale Holmes, how well is she playing? Never scored a try in the NRLW, the former Dragon. 27 games in, looking likely tonight. They're ready to go right-hand side again. Preston with Tonagato out the back. Here comes Emma. Gets around to Funga. Emma Tonagato. Well, that tackle needed to be made, didn't it? By Clifford again. Dodd, little kick.
Great kick.
Brilliant kick, and the try is scored. The Tigers watched, and Anderson pounced.
We've seen the Sharks, when they've been moving around, they've been moving the ball edge to edge. They've been trying to find some space, and then Tonagato, just see her inject herself down this right side. And a great run back across the grain. And then here, this is a lovely, lovely kick on the Harvey Norman replay by Quincy Dodd. She's got a lovely kicking game out of dummy half, and it only works, though, if everybody is actually pushing up. Does she get it down clean? No, she drops it. Oh, that's what the Tigers were pointing at.
Decision's under review for a possible knock-on.
Bit of white line fever there. She had it.
So Betty Welsh gets away with
Kick
it. Worried
chase from
about the
Cronulla's
upright, wasn't
onside.
she?
Bookends and then drops the ball over the line and fails to grip the ball before it's grounded. We have a decision.
Well, Anderson was the one that come up with the big tackle. Alana.
She'll have a bit of head noise about that, Brooke Anderson. But I think the Sharkies looked so good then because they were clinical. Every pass was out in front. The set beforehand, when they had a little bit of attacking shape, they had 3 woeful passes from dummy half, and it just all looked a little bit messy. But when they get the basics right, the Cronulla Sharks, you can see how potent they are. Emma Tonegado in a little bit of space, she was dangerous. Quick play the ball, and then Quincy Dodd did a brilliant job in the middle just to identify that Nevada George was up, there was space for the grubber and that kick pressure. I think if the Sharks get the basics right here, they come out on top, but just that final polish, it's not coming together just yet for the Sharks.
Fresh from our Olympic success and Paralympic success as well, our Australian swimmers head to Adelaide for the Australian Short Course Championships. A ticket to the World Aquatics Championships in Budapest is up for grabs. Catch all the action from September 26, exclusive, live and free on 9 Now. Mistake in the play the ball.
That's a short off season, isn't it, for a swimmer?
Immediate call for a challenge
Coming
here.
in to tackle 2, Matt. The on-field ruling is lost control in the ruck against Tigers.
What'd you see, Roo?
I was not looking at the screen. I was looking at the general play, so I have to watch this back on replay. But she does plant it.
The
Before
Tigers
she
player
gets
ball
up.
plants the ball, doesn't play it with balance and control and loses the ball. We have a decision.
You lose all rights with the ball plant, don't you?
Yep, you have to get to your feet on your own steam. You can't lean on the ball to get up, and that's why that one was ruled. So, but neither team have a challenge left. We are out of challenges.
Well, whoever did the Cronulla challenge, they should never get another one. That was the worst challenge I've ever seen. Someone's going to lose their licence today.
What do they need to get right to ice it in attack, Freddie?
No, just stay patient. Emma Tonegado, Pollard, the halfback, they'll come up with something. Oh, what a tackle, Lutu.
Penatani just keeps on taking them on, and they're ready and waiting for her. Dimmick is on. She'll be a Bulldog as well again next year. Here's that shot on Penatani. Another mistake in the play of the ball, this time by Dimmick. No more captain's challenges, just got to get on with things.
What do you want?
Well, that one hurts because they got themselves into quite a good position, finished midfield. They had shape set up on both sides. If we get a replay of it, we'll be able to see what actually went on in the ruck, but they stayed on her for a long time there, Tigers.
Mistake came after that. So the Tigers' opportunity here, if they can pinch another try before half-time, it might be hard to run down. Remember, they won last year 10 points to 0 against this opposition. That was at Belmore in a double-header. Now they've got the standalone Thursday night showdown, these two clubs. Reinke is on, the former Raider. Tackled on halfway. Footwork from Nevada George. And the offload trademark to Pio. Pass hits the deck. Set up kindly, though, for Clifford, who's just attacking the game.
What a pickup. On the half volley, one hand.
Saville is on. Back up dummy half. Young in her career. Hospital pass. Penatani was hunting Horn.
She had eyes for it, didn't she?
Lutu wrapped around on kicking duty. Tough one for Ravix. And coughs it up, I think. And knock on by Cronulla. So 6 more for these Tigers. And they start inside the red zone.
Once again, the boot of Lutu.
Short side, says Saville. The McGrath. And Nielsen against Ravix. The only try scorer so far. Denied that time. Back to Pio. Byers just chopped her down in trademark fashion. Look at Saville, the one-hand pickup. Plays with a bit of swagger. The number 14, 19 years of age. New South Wales under-19s rep. Here's Lutu again. Eventually got it to Betty Welsh. Pass out in front of Pollard in try-scoring form. Tries the in and away. And knocked on again by
Six to
Cronulla.
go.
No, what's the...
Okay, forward pass, Tigers.
Forward pass is the call by the touch.
Yep. Scrum in the middle, all up, clock on.
Definitely in line with it, but it looked a little bit messy as they tried to shoot down this right edge. It was lovely hands by Bo Vete Welsh. She saw that threat coming. She just moved her feet beautifully. A nice pass to finish it.
So he's saying that one is going forward, and then Hanaway knocks it on. It's an eagle-eyed spot. Only travelled about 10 centimetres, but he saw it going forward. Muller will take it. Biddle a little slow to get up. Stomp on the turf, trying to shake that one off.
That was a good run, Minna Hanisi. She was great last week.
That was feisty.
Oh yeah, she's got plenty of that. They're going to need that, the Sharkies.
Todd asked the question. Ready to go again. Hanisi, second game of the year for her, former Rooster, Eel and Bronco. Wheeler trying to milk one late in the count. Referee not having it. And Preston down to the wing. It's threatening to go out in the full. This one just stays in for Pollard. And the chase elite led by Penatani. Complaints about the height of that tackle.
She plays aggressive, doesn't she, Penatani?
Yeah. She doesn't know any other way.
Nelson's come a long way looking for work.
Just picturing her and her sister playing hallway footy. Must have been horrifying for their mother.
18th player has been activated. Claudia Brown is on with the headgear on to protect that black eye from last week. Saville looks for her playmakers. Lutu in position again. And there will be pressure. Dodd got there. Wobbles away off the right boot. Straight onto the chest of Staples.
That was a bit better kick pressure on Lutu there by the Sharks. I'll tell you what though, Cassie Staples, when she comes through contact, she's quite elusive.
Back on the 40.
Clear the ball!
And Nisi, work rate is high. Over the top of two of them. No markers as a result, so Dodd goes to work. Tonagato hasn't had her moment just yet in the one. Preston, Tigers are down, defending with 12 right now as the kick goes down to Betty Welsh this time. Here comes Tiana. And ducked under the tackle to Betty Welsh.
Lucky she did too, because I think she would have got smoked if she hadn't. And this worrying Chelsea Saville just down in back play for the Tigers. She's making her way back onside.
So look what this would do. If the Sharks were to lose this game, they'd stay on 12 points and their for and against might get a working over. Suddenly the door would open for the Eels, who play the Roosters in the final game of the entire regular season. Parramatta are cheering on the Tigers tonight. If the Sharks win this game and turn it around, then they're guaranteed finals footy. Dimmick that time over the top. Lutu from inside the 40. A tumbler down towards Staples. So they're winning the field position battle right now, the Sharks, but yet to score on a beautiful night for footy. 6 minutes before half-time.
Well, they're winning the grind. And Lutu just keeps them in the game beautifully.
Tonagato, here she goes. Oh, ball jolted loose by Lutu. It's another knock-on by Tonagato with a try brewing.
Oh, I don't think it's so much a knock-on as great work by Lutu. She just scrambled.
Was it number 14? So I missed the whole thing because I was trying to focus. What was it? Chelsea, you're going to go for HIA.
We just see the replay of Emma Tonagato just carving up through the middle. This is where she's at her best. Identifying that ruck space, We're just hearing Chelsea Savills coming off for an HIA from the independent doctor, but Lutu did so well to scramble there.
It's very Walsh, actually. They got a hand on the ball. That's been the threat. Dodd and Tenagato around the ruck after quick play of the balls. If they base their whole game on that for the rest of the game, there'd be enough points there, I reckon, to get them a result.
So Saville will be assessed. Remember, Tongatuki already ruled out of the game of the Category 1 HIA. Look at that defence. Byers driving Clifford all the way back. Gets involved in the follow-up tackle as well. There was a game she was nudging 40 tackles earlier this year, Rue, as the forward pass is called. Rhiannon Byers.
Yeah, I love the way Rhiannon plays. Very defensive focused. As we spoke about earlier, she does a fair bit of work protecting Taylor Preston on that right edge. We just see that forward pass there. Mistimed that work out of dummy half, and the run was a little too flat. Went past her. But this is a great opportunity here for the Sharks. This is where Emma Tonagato can be very dangerous.
So we've got 4 on the left.
Tonagato's locking the scrum. Normally she's at first receiver. She'll go to Preston this time. That's unusual by Cronulla.
Well, they didn't nail that first pass. You need to nail that first pass.
Anisi sets them up. Oh, Dodd from dummy half, and this try will count for Cronulla. Finally, after half an hour.
I was just speaking about just winning the ruck and taking advantage of quick play of the balls. The scrum come off an error, pretty much one tackle into it. We had runners coming off Taylor Preston. And hit one up, quick play of the ball. A couple of Tigers slow, get into marker. Lack of concentration, the first defender.
Yeah, the Harvey Norman replay just showed how spread the Tigers' defence was, and that was because the runners for the Sharks had actually set up much, much wider, and Quincy Dodd, who's been very threatening around that ruck, Freddie spoke about, that's exactly where they can find a lot of joy, and Quincy Dodd definitely does that. Alana?
Well, she's such a threat because she holds the footy in 2 hands, Quincy Dodd, and it's got to be on the tip sheet because she does it quite a lot. She loves taking the line on with options. She loves that little grubber kick, but she thinks run first, Quincy. That's what makes her so dangerous. Footy in 2 hands and the options are open.
She's been around for a long time. Now the Dragons.
Yeah, try scoring rate is good. She's up to 10 now in her career, and it's converted for 6-all. Ten tries in 36 games now for Quincy Dodd in her NRLW career. Fantastic leader in the Indigenous space as well. Marley Silver, it's been a busy night down there.
Yes, it certainly has. For Chelsea Saville, who came off a little earlier with the Tigers, she has got a Category 2 head injury assessment, so she'll have 15 minutes to pass that and hopefully return to this match in the second half.
It looks like another Tiger is about to leave the field as well.
Can we get it straight off? Yeah, bring her on.
So, major concerns for their forward pack. Tongatuki gone for the game, and Nevada George doesn't look too healthy either.
No, she's got that right knee heavily strapped already, and she's limping, but I'm sure Marley will get straight onto that, get us all the information.
So, important phase now, 3 minutes before half-time. It's all locked up at 6-all after the converted try by Quincy Dodd. It was held, said the referee.
I wouldn't be kicking off to her.
Push back. On the line.
She loves it, doesn't she?
I'm not sure she knows she's got a 4 on her back either. I think she's a front rower.
She outpaces us, that's for sure.
Actually found the right place to play it for Dimmick to go to work. Dodd looking for a quick play of the ball. Nessa Foliaki, veteran off the bench. Played all 9 games this year. Started twice. 7th appearance off the bench. And look at Hanisi with the bumper bars up.
Hasn't she been providing some great punch off the bench?
Oliaki again. And Preston comes back to the open side. All good looking play the ball. And knocked over after the kick. Finds grass as Preston. And Nielsen comes out of her own in goal again.
Yeah, great pressure from Ebony Pryor. She was steamrolled a couple of tackles ago. They got back in the defensive line, come up with a big play on the halfback.
This is some nice work here as we see the red zone, Westpac red zone. Tigers 15, Sharks 8. It was all Tigers to start this game. The Sharks only just managed to hit back with some points, but look at this defence from the home side.
Yeah, midway through the count, still inside their own 10, and after 4 tackles inside the 20. Noah looking to maintain their discipline. The Tigers looking to find a pass or two. And Pio just elects to go forward. So the kick will come from around the 30-metre line from Lutu. Should be on the chest of Staples or Tonagato. The winger takes it. So decent field position here to start their final set. Ravix gets rocked over the top by Brown in the headgear. Felt that one to Georgia, maybe in the leg department as well, limping back into position on the right wing. And away. The Tonagato and Natani looming. Back to Hanisi to set them up centre field. They got cooked up on the final play. Preston waits centre field. And away down the shorter side. They'll go that way. Tonagato's getting there and a crash ball. Holmes kept it alive. Now Tonagato for Staples running out of room. Hot potato stuff. Penatani at close range. What a take by Reinke.
Hit her right in the breadbasket, didn't it?
What a catch. Oh. What a catch.
Booney at short leg. Siren about to sound here. Rakia Horn staying down, waiting for the bunker to assess what just went on in that tackle.
Tackle 2 this week, tackle 3. She plays it. Is that what we got? Yeah, happy with that?
1 second left on the clock.
You got anything here, Maddie?
Tigers have been in the wars. Could catch up with them at the back end of this game. A whole lot in that from Hanisi. Matt Noyan says we can just play on. And this will be the final play. How much adventure do they show? Clifford wrapped up by Byers. And it's all to play for in the second half at Shark Park. And half-time, it's 6-all. Welcome back to Thursday Night Footy. Second half about to get underway. All locked up. 6 apiece between the Sharks and the Tigers. And the West Tigers start with the ball in their hands through Claudia Brown, activated as the 18th player in that first half when Togatuki was taken out by foul play from Holly Wheeler. Plenty going on in that first half. You can see Saville is back out there. She was a Category 2 HIA candidate in that first half, so she's been cleared and right to go. An important player for the Tigers that she gives them off the bench.
Well, that's a big thing. The big thing out of the first half was the control of Lutu with the kicking game was fantastic. And also how they're going to deal with the changing of the players' HIA. Obviously, Noddy would have went in with a game plan. That would have got messed up pretty early. That went forward.
Yeah, inadvertent touch off Brown has led to the knock-on being spotted well by the touchy. Rakia Horn watching on from the start of this second half. That is interesting. I'm sure Marley Silva's got some more on that. We'll get back to Marley in a moment. Lana Ferguson down on the sideline as well.
That must have been from that contact just before half-time there.
Yeah, I spoke to Noddy and I'm pretty sure Rakia passed her HIA, so she'll be ready to go. I think 2 have failed. So that'll leave them short. Some big minutes from some girls are going to have to stand up.
Held there, back there.
Back to where the call of held was initially made. Tonegata didn't appreciate the way it went on. And back on an angle, Byers. Heavily run line. Foliaki wants to go now, centre field. Moved it on to Hanisi, who nearly busted them at Saville. Hung onto the legs desperately. Back to Foliaki, doing some ball playing lock. Well, isn't she? Byers has another go. Rolls into the Westpac red zone. Foliaki again, this time for Hanaway, and knocked on. Seemingly doesn't matter now as the Tigers tidy up. Let's get down to Marley.
Yes, Speedy, I missed you before because there's so much head injury assessment news happening down here on the sideline. Unfortunately, Nevada George has also, well, that is a tough tackle on Lasana Lutu. She looked like she was in a bit of pain there, and the Tigers do not need any more of that because, as I was saying, Nevada George has been ruled out after failing her head injury assessment, whereas Chelsea Saville has passed, and as you saw on the sideline, Rakea Horn also had a head injury assessment just before halftime. Thankfully, she has passed as well.
Yeah,
Tale Holmes, is that hip drop?
Lower leg now, mate.
No, she's just in a bad position. That's not a hip drop. That was the contact from Hanisi. She's doing damage with the ball and without.
Matt Nguyen is still talking to Caroline Nolan. If it is deemed a hip drop, then Tale Holmes will be off the ground.
Well, just have a look here. You can see she doesn't land on her lower leg. She gets twisted over. It's Mina Hanisi. It sounds like she's going to...
Tale.
I think it looks like a hip drop to me.
Does it? Does she land with her full body weight on the lower limb?
Yeah, I think she does.
She's on reporting in the bin.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, the contact's made. She grabs on the hip, she swivels and she makes contacts on the leg. She's on report, she's in the hip bin.
Well, that's the second sin bin for the Sharks.
It's almost a classic hip drop, I think, the way that she grabs onto the opponent and then jumps almost in the air and comes down on the
She had no idea, I don't think, that Hanisi was a big part of the tackle. She goes nowhere near the back of the legs if Hanisi's not there, I don't think.
Here is Lutu, recovered well, moves it on to Talataina. Here's another look at it. Look at number 11, Holmes. Loses all her body weight and then crushes the lower left leg of Lutu, almost with her back coming.
I think she...
We're about to have a brawl in the commentator's box.
The reason it's a sin bin is because she loses her legs. Like, she throws her legs up in the air. So that's obviously why the sin bin's been called.
It will be dissected post-game, no doubt. Here's Reinke. Lutu on the right, McGrath on the left, got a good kicking game as well. Tonegata, patience is a virtue.
Tonegata took a place in the defensive line on the left-hand side. She's become the busiest girl on the field at the moment. They're down to 12. She's defending in the line and the second line as well. And got to the ball.
Theodore. So hard to contain. Dodd did well to find Dimmick. Knocked her around. Rhiannon Byers, who was the decoy. Tonegata so close to being amongst those first half try scorers a couple of times. Easy. Up over 70 metres run off the bench. Safe one out stuff from the Sharks this time with 12 players on the ground right now. Tale Holmes in the bin. Preston out towards that wing of Ravix again. Timed it nicely this time, Georgia, but wrapped up.
I'll tell you what, Claudia Nielsen, she's had a job ahead of her, but she's come up with some really great plays. She gets beaten at the jump here by Ravix, and then she just manages to hang on to her as she comes to the ground with the football.
It was a beautiful place kick. The catch is arriving as the ball come down. Emma Tonegata, you can tell she understands the desperation of the result today. You just see her up the ante and Getting busy.
So an extra playmaker onto the ground now for the West Tigers in the number 17 jumper. Pauline Piliae-Rasambale just on, but Rakia Horn, who also came back on in this second half, makes the mistake.
No, the Sharks were just sort of swarming them in defence there, and Rakia Horn was fighting for a quick play the ball and loses control of it. And that is unfortunate, because if they got no challenge, it's actually interference by the Sharks in the ruck. That's a tough one.
Cheeky little toe from Quincy Dodd.
It's one of those things too, when you're playing the ball, if you actually don't get it good the first time, you can rake it back. As long as you get the ball back, you'll keep possession.
So Brown, the one who made way for PPR. Biddle almost through. Needed some backup there, the Tigers, as Tafunga was left in Biddle's wake.
If Jesse Ramian's out this week, I found my right centre for the Sharks.
She leads the NRLW, the entire competition for post-contact meters. Vanessa Biddle. David Middleton alerting me to that step. Not on cue. There's Foliaki. Creating some numbers on the left here, even though they've got 12. But Dodd comes to the right and knocked backwards. Seen a lot of that tonight. Which way now, says Quincy. Who wants it? Hanaway gonna shout it. Look at that pass for Penatani. Oh, beats Horn, all ends up and they score with 12. What a night she is having. What a season for Tiana Penatani.
Well, aside from the sin bin, I think this is exactly the start that Tony Herman would have wanted to see out of his Sharks. They've run with purpose. They've managed to work their way into good field position. We see here on the Harvey Norman replay, this is this one-on-one battle that we've been speaking about all day. Penatani v Horn.
Well, there's bragging rights at the dinner table. She got the try. She attacks the game so aggressively. The pass from Hanaway. Catch, pass, bullet. Got her in front of Horn and then allowed her to use her footwork, use her palm, her strength. Kept the ball in two hands to keep the winger out.
We saw Lutu convert from this angle earlier in the game, and Preston, it'll be waved away.
You've done it again.
Just 28 years of age, Tiana Penatani, 6 tries and 3 try assists so far this year. Alana Ferguson, what a player.
Oh, a player and what a leader for the Sharks too. Freddie was speaking about Emma Tonegado, and she's certainly up the ante, particularly her communication, but between the two of them, very hard to get a word in for the rest of the girls. Tiana Penatani and Emma Tonegado, 2 leaders of this Cronulla Sharks side, and they have not stopped talking.
There's a good chance they'll be playing against each other in Pacific Champs. Oh, that would have hurt. Great play of the ball. Up and played the ball.
Yeah, the Penatanis played together with Tonga last year. Natasha got the jump on Tiana for playing for that country because international games clashed with Origin a few years back, but they both played in the red and white last year together, and that was a special moment for the family representing their father's side, their late father's side of the family. Look at this, aggressive play on the outside, and Raffigs rounds her up. It shows strength to stay in there from Nielsen.
Well, I thought she gave up too much of the blindside in Raffigs. She went in very aggressive. Well, this just went sideways.
Yeah, you can just see Poliaki gets down low. Oh, she goes past the horizontal. I'm glad she's okay, but that is uncomfortable.
Well, it's when two people get
Vanessa, you're on
involved.
report. Dangerous contact.
Byers comes to the rescue there, doesn't she? Like holding her up from really going into the deck. So the Pacific's biggest sporting event is back for 2024. Witness great against great as the very best men's and women's players from 7 island nations compete for glory and pride, because across the Pacific, footy isn't just the game, it's our passion, our culture, and it runs deep. Tickets to the 2024 Pacific Championships on sale now. Secure your tickets at NRL.com/tickets. Another penalty.
No, back here.
No quick tap for Saville.
Toss them off.
Well, discipline has definitely been an issue for the Sharks throughout the season, and tonight 2 players in the sin bin and just gifting the Tigers field position off back-to-back penalties. You don't want to continue to test their defence this way.
Especially when you're down to 12.
So just tapping it and going. Leanne Tafunga. Penalty count in the favour of the visitors tonight because of that poor discipline by the Sharks. Here it is, 5-3 in their favour. Dodd nearly gave away another one there for a flop. And now McGrath. Halves combine. Betty Welsh. No way past Penatani.
Well, she had to shoot up and shut that one down, Penatani. They had numbers again, the Tigers, drifting around to the right.
Lutu wants it short side. Remember, Cronulla still down to 12 right now. Horn. What a tackle. Hanaway chopped the legs from underneath for Kia Horn. Lutu. Kept it alive for Saville. Back to Reinke. They'll play it on the last. Which way now? Lutu,
right.
short side. They go to the left instead. McGrath. Evie McGrath. And the ball wrapped up by Preston and Biddle.
Yeah, great defence from the Sharks. Lutu was on the blind and she had a 4-on-3. I think sometimes if you've gone there twice, you think it's no good going there a third time, but she had plenty of numbers. I feel like sometimes when she's passing the ball, just needs that little bit of extra punch. Just a little bit quicker. Give that catcher a bit more time.
Nagano from dummy half. There was no hole opening up there. Saville sorted that. Talataina makes back-to-back tackles. What do you say about players in purple kind of headgear, Freddie? Riley Jorgensen of the Titans, of course, one of your favourites. Here she is again, putting the head on the line. Talataina. Oh, charge down, and it's there. It's alive for the Tigers. Clifford back to the supports, and now the bunker doesn't have to see whether she knocks it on.
She knocked it on. Play the ball.
It's 13-on-13 again in a couple of seconds. The Tigers go right, and Penatani saves another try. Getting to Rakia Horn.
Yeah, she threw it earlier then, Lutu. Gave Horn plenty of time. The tackle was too good.
Harley Holmes slots in on the right-hand side for now defensively. 13-on-13 again. Pilia'e Rasambale. Still 2 more plays.
They've got to go to their right, the Tigers. They've got to use it.
They go to McGrath. Betty Welsh, quick hands to Funga. Gets it to her winger. Nielsen running out of room. Gets away from that sideline. So the Sharks defending impressively here. They've got the full complement now. McGrath played at, but it's okay. Byers able to trap and scrap.
No, Byers did very well just to use her knees and not her feet when she trapped that one. She picked it up nice and cleanly, but Lutu was just screaming for the football. She knew where the space was. She knew where she wanted to put it. Just was the wrong option there for the Tigers on the last.
Scoring output has gone up the last couple of weeks for Brett Kamali's side, but they've missed a couple of opportunities there against the Sharks.
She's a class act, Hanaway.
It's Preston. Only the fullback is back, so Betty Welsh turned around by the kick from Cronulla's number 7, and look at the chase again. Led by the halfback. What a play.
Yeah, kicked early, chased her own kick, come up with a tackle. That's leadership.
Great signing for the Bulldogs next year. Taylor Preston. Going to be an exciting team to watch in their first campaign. Ollie Wheeler also part of that Bulldogs coaching raid. Just over 20 minutes to go. Horn gets the penalty late in the count.
Yeah, 4th tackle penalties.
The key's in front there.
Especially when you've just had to defend with 12 for 10 minutes. That's not ideal. And again, the discipline that we've spoken about. Just letting the Sharks down. Tony Herman just has a drink of water to settle down.
We had an uncomfortable couple of minutes. Ricea Horn. Just the way she ran the ball. Used the footwork, got between the two girls, put pressure on their tackle. Enough fight in it herself to get the penalty. Good play.
Not too many injury concerns for the Sharks. Jada Taylor was an interested observer from that coach's box just then. The talented live wire fullback alongside Tony Herman. Quick hands here. Oh, there was a 3-player overlap being created, but Clifford just straightened things up. To Pio. Ball playing for Pilia'e Rasambale. Tackle made by Takapaltalo. Just on in the 15 jump. Oh, great pass. Horn. So close again. Staples got to her that time. And from dummy half, that might work. Talataina has it on the line and we're all locked up again.
Well, the play before was brilliant. For the last 5 minutes, we've watched them go to the right-hand side and Penatani's just picked them off one after another. This time they go across the face of Penatani. Lutu throws a beautiful ball. Watch this. Draws Penatani out of the line, finds Horn. And with all the interest coming out the back, the dummy half found a bit of space under the legs. Who was that of? Rhianna Byers. And they're back to even.
Yeah, the Harvey Norman replay showed it beautifully, didn't it? You know, that right in position, you just see their body height was a little bit too high from the Sharks on the line, but the whole lead-up work by the Tigers was fantastic, and some ill discipline again inviting them down into this position on the field, and they take full advantage, Alana.
Didn't they ever? It's game on now for the Tigers. That discipline, as you said, Rue, keeping them in the game, but the Sharkies are about to respond. They've got Ellie Johnston and Brooke Anderson looking as eager as ever to get back on there with their interchange cards in their hand. So they'll get out there looking to make an immediate impact, no doubt about it, but discipline's the key for the Sharks at this point.
That's the first career try for Brooke Talataina, who came into the NRLW as a halfback, but really making a name for herself on the in the back row position right now. So off the bench to take over the goal-kicking responsibilities from Lutu, who nailed that first one. PPR does the same, and the Tigers lead. That's not a good sight for Cronulla heading into the finals with Rhiannon Byers limping off through.
No, definitely. We just saw, that try scored. Talataina went straight at the knee, and unfortunately that can sort of hyperextend the knee and be very uncomfortable. So hopefully she's all right.
Johnston just back on as Alana Ferguson was previewing in the number 8 jumper. So that's where Byers picked up that issue as Rue saw. Head right into the knee area. Sensational conversion from this lady, putting up Rasambale. You can see why she took on the goal-kicking responsibilities, and it's worked for the Tigers having her coming off the bench last couple of weeks.
Yeah, she's obviously one who's been a half mainly that we've seen her play there, but she's also played some centre. She's played fullback. She's now playing in the middle, so she's quite versatile, which I think that's really great for Brett Cronulla.
It was a big decision to take Lutu off, considering she kicked one from the sideline.
And there she is on kicking duty, bouncing it down to Staples. So Cronulla playing catch-up here. Remember, they need to win tonight to guarantee finals footy, otherwise they could open the door for the Eels, who play on Sunday afternoon. Emma Tonagato, we've seen her top of the meter eaters on many an occasion. And here again tonight, into dummy half here, goes the Penatani.
That's a captain's run.
All the way, Brooke, maintain!
Tonagato rolling off the back of it, hurdled over one. Picks up Dodd, who usually only steps away from the game on the bench for about 10 minutes or so before returning. Anderson back for her second stint. 16 minutes to go, trailing by 2. Preston down towards that wing of Nielsen again. No pressure on the take this time. And the Tigers end the season with back-to-back victories after starting the last campaign with 2 wins. That's the only other time they've strung together 2 victories, rounds 1 and 2 of their inaugural campaign.
She's been faultless, Claudia Nielsen. You say she was a hockey player originally?
Hockey, bit of rugby sevens.
She had a great game. Scored the try, the first try for the Tigers. It's been faultless in the air.
Back page news in the Northern Leader with a wrap from Brad Fittler up in Tamworth. Little rag up there. Lutu just inside her own half. Can't get it away from Tonagato. Former Dalian medalist. Shared it with Millie Boyle, now Millie Elliott, back in 2021. She was a Dragon, of course. Ball's come loose here, and the referee says penalty. Stripped out by Talataina, perhaps.
This is their first break for a while. I feel like they've been camped down in their end, the Sharks, for the last 5 or 10 minutes. We're looking for Ellie Johnson early in the set. Get a bit of momentum. Look at that. Dragon plays. Leaving Tigers out of the defensive line.
Oh, great offload. Anderson, the recipient of Wheeler's work. Dodd goes to Preston on that short side. It's Biddle out in front, and they're inside the Westpac red zone.
And it's a nice shape set up to the left.
That's where they're headed, via Wheeler. Picks up Hanaway. Takes the line on this time. I thought she was going to fire a trademark pass to Tonagato, which would have been interesting. Back to Johnston. Not too long until the off-season beckons for Ellie when she goes back to racing and rodeos. Here goes Wheeler. And Takapatolo will take some stopping. All those bodies underneath.
Hold up. 6 tackles.
Well, they were short. You can see there you got the winger in the tackle. The Sharks had plenty out wide. They assumed the defence was just going to slide off onto the outside Sharks players. They did a great job there. Everyone on the left-hand side was in that tackle.
Had to hand it over on the last. She's yet to lose in the NRLW. 4-0 is her personal record, Manolita Takapatolo, in the 15 jumper.
I'll tell you what, the genuine opportunity was 2 plays earlier when Hanaway took the line on. Then she hits Penatani flat. Penatani's through at pace.
Still well behind in terms of play the balls in the Westpac red zone, the home team. Tigers, of course, have played 20 minutes of this game with a 1-player advantage, which has helped them dominate that stat. Lovely service again.
Great pass, wasn't that?
Lutu. Oh, juggled backwards. Staples gets away with the fumble.
Well, this is where the Sharks have been quite good around the ruck. Their back 3 gets in, finds plenty of space. Their back 5 even. But then Tonagato jumps in, Dodd jumps in, and they get plenty of ruck speed.
Natasha Penatani back on. She may yet get the bragging rights at the dinner table after Tiana got the try earlier. And Natasha's on the right side of the scoreline right now.
What is more important, scoring the try or the win? We're talking about, 5 years in the future.
10 Christmases down the line.
Preston changes it up, kicks towards the other wing this time, but Betty Welch, the fullback, able to track it down on the full.
Now with 12 minutes to go, I was just looking down the bench, number 14, Hennessy. She's pretty much been the most dangerous of the Sharks runners.
Marley Silver, what have you got?
We saw Rhiannon Byers come off earlier, and as she walked past us down here on the sideline, she was in a lot of pain. I've spoken to Sharks staff. She's having her knee assessed at the moment. There's not 100% sure on what it could be as it stands, but it certainly doesn't look like she'll be back for the end of this match.
Fingers crossed heading into the finals for Rhiannon Byers. So a change of dummy half. Ebony Pryor back on, replacing Saville. Good starting position here for the Sharks. Coming by 2, and Staples straight through. Thought she was away, but Talataina came again. Hanaway spotted the markers, not ready. Look at this run, Georgia Hanaway. No teammates able to keep up with her. Still going. Now they loom up on the outside, and she didn't push it to Biddle.
There's a few jerseys in the road. That was a great run.
They did the right thing to take the tackle, perhaps, as Holmes, in search of her first career try. Looking ominous here, the Cronulla Sharks has to reclaim the lead. All careful, running behind the lead runner. Penalty blown here.
Ellie. Oh no, Holly. She mustn't have seen her.
Onside.
Here's the run from Hanaway.
How well balanced is she?
It's just been from some power running of the back 5 of the Sharks. Hanaway just taking advantage once again of a quick play of the ball. Well, they haven't found touch.
Big mistake. Preston able to keep it in. Tigers did not find touch after the penalty. Is that the sliding doors moment Cronulla have been waiting for? Biddle. Now Holly Wheeler, no lead runners in front of her this time. Sets it up in front of the right-hand upright, and Anderson is organising things, left side attack. Dodd finds the lock, quickly on to Hanaway. Again, the bullet pass knocked on, I think, by Penatani, even though she was facing the other way, and that's the call.
Just looking too inviting out there. They just rushed everything. There was plenty of space. Here's the miss. Oh, that is crucial. She tried to bite off a fair bit in the position she was in. They all just seem to get in each other's road. Penatani she had the lead run. She didn't look like she was doing it with much purpose with Tonagato out the back. It's a bad error.
Don't forget, Cronulla fans and Cowboys fans, tickets available tomorrow night. It'll be a good one for the neutral as well. The semi-final at Allianz Stadium on a Friday night. Cronulla against North Queensland. Superstars of the game. Can Nico Hines bounce back against Scott Drinkwater and company? Get your tickets now, nrl.com/tickets. Another opportunity for Cronulla now, Roo.
Yeah, this is another error in the play the ball here from the Tigers. This one, just no interference there from the Sharks, and that's a bad error. She's been so good for the Montana Clifford.
Okay.
This game, just a little bit of an error there. Brett Kamali feeling the pinch.
Let's go, we're still on the scrum clock.
Alana.
He looked nervous, didn't he, Noddy? I think they've got to get Emma Tonagato in and around the ruck. Even if she starts a little bit tighter and sweeps late, they just look like they're broadcasting their plans in attack. She's so dangerous, tighter to the ruck and deep.
Here she comes behind Hanaway. Georgia is looking likely as well. Wheeler. 7.5 minutes to go. Cronulla trailing 12 points to 10. Here goes Johnston. And she's found the deck. Cronulla reclaimed the lead through Ellie Johnston, a try-scoring front rower.
Well, how many tries is this for her now?
Look at the smile. Look at the smile on Ruan. Hey, have a look at that smile. Yeah, salute to the crowd. The one thing that Cronulla have done all day or all night is ran hard. And once again, it just shows it doesn't matter anywhere on the field. If you run hard, you're going to get good results.
It was almost a miscue in the Harvey Norman replay. We just saw that then. Quincy Dodd sort of fumbled the ball out of dummy half, but I mean, the referee, Caroline Nolan, was right on the spot. She said she saw some ball touch the ground. I think it was prior to this, what we're seeing right now. She was in the best position for that. The bunker will check it out. This might give us a bit of a better view. But she loves, this is a pet play for her, close to the line.
She's done a great job. There was 3 Tigers there.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think,
Okay, decisions under review.
given that she's given the try, it's very hard to say that you can't see.
Here's where the issue was. At dummy half.
Dummy half in picking up the ball, grabs the ball and rolls it forward along
there
the
you go.
ground. This is a knock on. We have a decision.
Yeah, I did think she fumbled it, but that's why it was a bit late getting to Ellie Johnston. She's denied the try.
Well, that's harsh.
There was a Tiger body pretty close to that ruck there.
That's like in cricket, you know, when
Oh,
he's got the court behind, but then they go back to see the no ball. And
yeah, it's the right call though, as much as it hurts. Look at the Tigers there, just hanging on, aren't they?
the young Jada Taylor, that was the one on the right-hand side of the screen. She's the flyer. We saw her in the lift. That's her on the right-hand side. She caught an injury earlier in the year. She's in pretty good spirits.
And young in her career, you can learn a lot in that coach's box, I'd imagine, Roo, that she might benefit from. Already a fantastic player.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's the best place you can be if you can't be on the field. You get to hear what the coaches are talking about, tactics, strategy.
Good
Oh,
contact.
that was Taylor Preston, halfback.
Cuts one out to go to Tafuna.
Lee Johnson defending in the centres.
I think she was just out of position slightly.
Pio, trademark offload. Russell Barley eventually reacted, and second hit up from Brown on this set. Much better set from the Tigers. They take it all the way down to the 10-metre line. Confident take by Tonegado. But time is ticking here. It's another Thursday night cliffhanger in the NRLW.
Only 6 minutes to go. 6 minutes to go. It's about 4 sets of 6 maximum. And they're all bunched up behind the play the ball, the Sharks.
And remember what this means. Parramatta fans and Parramatta players watching this on a Thursday night before their Sunday game are getting excited. The points differential would be 34 points. They'd need to rack up a score and beat the Roosters on Sunday, but the dream would be alive. That's dependent on what the Knights do, who are favoured to win their game tomorrow.
Pass.
Kicks instead. Betty Welsh knew where it was going. She was well positioned. So vastly experienced is Bo.
Well, this is where the Sharks really need to compress here, get some line speed, but stay clean through their contact. That is a very short 10 as well from the way.
His old school was barely 5. So Betty Welsh wants the pickle juice, please.
Tackle 2,
Not many request that, Freddie.
5 to play it.
Tastes disgusting, that's why.
Could be a head clash.
You want to be
here,
cramping. They've done a great job, Betty Welsh and Nelson over on this left-hand side. They've been peppered all afternoon, all evening from Preston.
Well, Brooke Anderson's not in a good way here for the Sharks.
Of course, any kind of HIA has the potential to rule her out of a final as well next week after this head clash.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a
Hopefully doesn't have
technique.
to eat the meals through the straw for a little while. That looks pretty ugly.
The technique earlier in the evening, she's come up with a beautiful tackle. Getting down nice and low, shoulder. Just an awkward angle.
Anisi about to get called upon. Plenty of damage done inside the mouth of Brooke Anderson. Hopefully no break to the jaw. Not easy to talk in that situation, but she's trying to get her message across.
Hand signals. No, that was very, very heavy contact, and it was blood almost immediately. And she looked quite out of it. I imagine she'd be coming from the field.
And her availability for week 1 of the finals, if Cronulla make it, will be in doubt. She's a key player. Made that decision last year to represent New Zealand and was an important player for them in the Pacific Championships, which are just around the corner on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Nielsen against Anderson. Big coming together there. So Hanesi on to replace Anderson in the middle of the field.
Well, Nielsen's only got 1 gear. We've worked that out. Just flat out. Everything she's done tonight has been flat out. Hopefully Anderson gets some good news.
Mutu down the short side using Talataina, whose try put the Tigers in front in the second half. And they hold on to this slender 2-point advantage. Wide World of Sports has launched a new podcast, Marley and Me. So many fantastic guests for Marley Silver. Be sure to check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Tricky one, wasn't it, for Tonegata? You can find Marley and Me on 9 now as well.
It's Lutu, bit of backspin.
Marley, Jordan, Ricky and Kalen Ponga have been great guests. What's in the pipeline?
It's been such a fun project to work on. Renato Militello from the Sharks was on the show this week, and next week 2 episodes will be coming out, one of which will be with our great colleague, the one and only Jonathan Thurston. I highly recommend people listen to it. It's really special. Lots of talk about culture, family and identity.
Looking forward to that. Sure to take a listen to Marley and Me. So can the Sharks get it done on this set? Again, Preston will kick. Nielsen and Betty Welsh look at each other, and the winger just takes it upon herself.
She has been epic. She has been so good tonight. Last week we saw Pollard have an absolute blinder for the Tigers. Nielsen this week, she debuted last week. She has just played with so much poise and finesse and power.
Marley, are you signing up Brooke Anderson for a podcast anytime soon?
Well, at this rate, I mean, I hope she can just talk properly after that look of that head knock. And it has been categorised as a category 2. I mean, we will not see her for the rest of this match, but you certainly hope it's nothing too serious that would rule her out of a Sharks finals game.
This is floating from Lutu, gathered well by Preston, who wants to go to Tonegato. What can Emma do? Look at the chase by the Tigers. There's no way through there.
Well, the Sharks need to get back behind the ball and spread. Their first instinct normally is to get in behind the ball. And what happens, that just brings the Tigers' defence in. You see the high shot. They're all in there. You put a blanket over them.
There has been a message that Brett Camorley has told these Tigers the last dance for many of them. That's what's motivated them this week. There'll be players moving on at season's end. Remember, they were 0-7 until last week at Leichhardt when they got it done on Thursday night. It might just be the Thursday night specialists, and considering they lost Togatuki so early, the leader of their pack, this would be an amazing win to close out their season, but the Sharks still have time. And good field position here. Less than 2.5 minutes to go. The Broncos beat them on the bell last week, and they have their time. Hanaway, beautiful. Penatani goes to Staples. And Horn with the try-saver ball came loose. And it's knocked on by the Sharks. It's the story of their night. Ball control and discipline.
Oh, great chase. Rakia Horn. They got stripped for numbers out on their right edge there. And this chase, double D by Rakia Horn. Look at this, grabs on. And that error comes as the bum carrying the ball hits the deck. The ball bobbles out, but what about that? Look how much that means to the Tigers.
Well, they need a good set of 6 here, the Sharks. They need to be faultless. They'll leave them with the best part of a set of 6 to win the game and guarantee a semi-final position.
They're trading on the right.
And some adventure here. Getting it to Tafunga. and beats 3 or 4 of them. And Tafunga, the former Rooster, what a run at this stage of the ball game.
Well, it was the previous play, the ball, it was so quick, and then it shifted out to the left, and it caught the Sharks' defence with their backs turned to them, so that's why they were able to play. And one-on-one strip here, 6 again. Oh, the Tigers, look at them come.
Well, the strip was given the all clear. It was borderline, wasn't it, from Wheeler? Now that chews up more time. If the Tigers can see out this set, they'll give very little time to Cronulla to try and pull off the miracle. Natasha Penatani might just get those bragging rights with a victory in her final game of the season. Lutu. From the angle, Rakia Horn. Inside the Westpac red zone again, where they've spent so much of the night. From a standing start, Penatani has another go. How do they finish this set? Oh, they're thinking about one, surely not. They lead by 2. Interesting choice. Give up a 7-tackle set, but there's no time, of course, for 7 tackles.
Well, they got 1 tackle. The Sharks have to score in this tackle.
And they're going to kick, are they? Preston just flicked it out to Biddle. It was borderline the pass. Have to keep it alive at all costs. Dodd has a kick, and Betty Welsh comes down with it. Well, the last dance for the Tigers is going to lead to the best win in the short history of this NRLW club. So many injury worries tonight, but they finish the season with back-to-back wins. They don't want this season to end. They knock off the Dragons on Thursday night at Leichhardt, and they back it up at Cronulla. It means so much to them, and rightly so. Brett Kamali, take a bow. What an effort by the West Tigers tonight. They win it, 12 points to 10.
Well, they started